Hello everyone, welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're bringing you another great advanced lesson for all those advanced users out there.
That's right. This is a really, really useful lesson for all of our advanced users.
Exactly. You asked for a lesson about job interviews, and well, here we are. We're bringing you the first of 3 parts of the job interview series.
All right, so Marco, you said it is the first of 3 parts.
Right.
So tell me, what are these 3 parts?
Okay, in this lesson, we're going to be looking at preparing for a job interview.
Okay.
So everything you got to do before the job interview.
Mm-hmm.
Part 2 will be talking about your education, your background, your work experience.
Okay.
And in part 3, we'll take a look at some of the common questions that are asked at a job interview.
And so we'll talk about some great ways to answer these questions.
Exactly.
All right, these 3 lessons will be coming out over the next month or so.
Exactly. So we're going to be looking at part 1 today. So let's take a look at some vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Well, we have 3 words here in vocabulary preview that you'll hear in the dialogue in a moment. And the first one is actually not really a word, but an acronym.
Right. CRM.
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 So Marco, you are our marketing guy. Tell us, what is a CRM?
Well, it's really common in marketing. It stands for Customer Relationship Management.
Okay.
Or Customer Relation Management. But basically, it's the relationship that the company has with its customers.
Okay.
So CRM basically has parts like feedback or customer support, problems that they might have, and also information about habits and likes and dislikes from their customers or users.
Okay, but I commonly hear this word used as a noun. So something like, can you check in the CRM?
Right, there is some software out there that's called the CRM. So Sugar CRM, or many different softwares, which basically manages your database of customers. Basically software that englobes this whole thing.
Okay, got it. All right, our next phrase in vocabulary preview, custom designed.
Custom designed.
Custom designed.
Custom designed.
So when something is custom designed,
it means it's a special design just for you.
So it's unique.
Right. That's what the word custom means.
Unique, like made especially for one person.
Right. So you have custom designed or also custom made. You see that a lot, for example, in cars, right? A custom made car.
Yes. Or maybe a custom built house.
A custom built house.
Yep.
With your specific likes and dislikes.
Yeah, your
color.
requirements. Yep.
Okay, and our last word, core values.
Core values.
Core values.
Core values.
So the core values of a company. What does the core mean, actually?
The center.
The center, right?
Yep. So, and here I think it's like the center or the most important.
The most important things the company believes in, right?
Right. So maybe respect for the environment.
Okay. Or developing their employees. Okay. So the core values,
Yep.
the main things that the company believes in.
A great phrase for job interviews.
Oh, yes. Very good phrase. Okay. So why don't we listen to our dialogue? Erica, what exactly is happening?
All right, we're going to be listening to 2 friends, and this guy is getting ready to go on a job interview. So his friend is helping him to prepare.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over everything one more time. I really want you to get this job.
I know, it's an amazing growth opportunity. They're true industry leaders, and it would be so interesting to be part of an organization that is the undisputed leader in business process platform development.
So let's see. You did your research on the company, right?
Wow, I visited the website and read up on what they do. They're an IT service company that offers comprehensive business solutions for large corporations. They provide services such as CRM development, and they also offer custom designed applications.
So what would be your role in the company?
Well, the position is for an account manager. That basically means that I would be the link between our clients and our development team.
Sounds good. And so why do you want to work with them?
Well, as I said, they're the industry leaders. They have a really great growth strategy, amazing development opportunities for employees, and it seems like they have a strong corporate governance. They're all about helping companies grow and unleashing potential. I guess their core values and mission really resonated with me. Oh, and they offer 6 weeks vacation, stock options, and bonuses. I'm totally going to cash in on that.
You idiot! You don't say that. Do you want this job or not?
All right, so he was doing great, but in the end, he said something he shouldn't, right?
Yeah, I don't think talking about money as your primary motivation for coming onto a new company is
Yeah,
really the way
exactly.
to go.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's take a look real quick at some language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, in this lesson, we have 5 keywords for you from the dialogue, which we hope that you will remember.
Let's take a look at the first one. Undisputed.
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 So this is kind of a strange word. Let's listen to some examples before we explain it.
Example 1.
It's undisputed that she's the best person for the job.
Example 2.
The undisputed truth is that unemployment is rising. No one doubts that.
Example 3.
He's the undisputed champion of the world.
Well, I can understand from these examples that it means there is no doubt.
There is no doubt.
There's no
Exactly.
question.
Okay, now let's take a look at our second word, growth opportunity.
Growth opportunity.
It's a great growth opportunity
So it's an excellent chance to improve, right?
to improve professionally and also on a personal side, right?
Yeah. So talking about growth opportunities, we can also use the phrase a development opportunity
And it's the same thing,
Yep.
right? To develop, to grow.
to improve yourself.
Okay. Now let's take a look at our third word, read up.
Read up.
Read up.
Read up.
So when you read up on something,
Well, obviously you read it, right?
Right.
But you're reading it specifically for some information so you can know more about the subject.
so it's kind of similar to study, right?
Kind of, but really with the idea that you're trying to improve your knowledge about a particular field.
Okay. Now for our fourth word, unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Unleash potential.
Okay, so to unleash.
All right. Well, I'm going to paint a picture for you.
All right.
So imagine you have your dog, right? Mm-hmm. And your dog is walking on a leash, like it has a string or a rope attached to it.
Right.
So then when you undo the leash, you unleash the dog, and then what happens?
It goes around and it's running. And...
Yeah, it's going everywhere.
Uh-huh.
So if you unleash potential, you release it and let it go and help it.
Grow and become
Yes.
bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
So you give it freedom.
Uh-huh.
So potential is the capabilities or abilities that a person has, right?
Yes.
To do something great. Mm-hmm. Okay. Unleash potential.
This, I think, is an excellent word to use in a job interview. I think it is really descriptive and really powerful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a good word. Okay, so let's take a look at our last one now. Resonate with.
Resonate with.
Resonate with.
Resonate with.
So he mentioned this really resonated with me. So what does he mean by resonated?
I guess he means it connected to him, right?
Mm-hmm.
It touched him.
So he agrees with this idea or he feels that he can relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I think this one needs a few examples to really show its meaning.
Okay, let's listen.
Example 1.
The candidate's speech really resonated with the voters.
Example 2.
Their music doesn't really resonate with me.
Example 3.
Their commitment to fight global warming resonates with me.
All right, so it's clear now to resonate with, right? Okay, so why don't we go and listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll come back and give you some great pointers about preparing for a job interview.
Okay. So let's go over everything one more time. I really want you to get this job.
I know, it's an amazing growth opportunity. They're true industry leaders, and it would be so interesting to be part of an organization that is the undisputed leader in business process platform development.
So let's see. You did your research on the company, right?
Well, I visited the website and read up on what they do. They're an IT service company that offers comprehensive business solutions for large corporations. They provide services such as CRM development, and they also offer custom designed applications.
So, what would be your role in the company?
Well, the position is for an account manager. That basically means that I would be the link between our clients and our development team.
Sounds good. And so, why do you want to work with them?
Well, as I said, they're the industry leaders. They have a really great growth strategy, amazing development opportunities for employees, and it seems like they have a strong corporate governance. They're all about helping companies grow and unleashing potential. I guess their core values and mission really resonated with me. Oh, and they offer 6 weeks vacation, stock options, and bonuses. I'm totally going to cash in on that.
You idiot! You don't say that. Do you want this job or not?
Okay, so preparing for a job interview is really important, right?
Yes. Yep.
And we're going to give you some really basic tips about how you can prepare for a job interview.
Yep. I got to confess something to you, Marco.
What?
I love job interviews.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's really weird. Most people hate them, but I love them.
So you love being the interviewer or going to job interviews?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. I like everything about them. So I feel like I have a lot of passion to share with you about this.
All right, so let's take a look at the first point or the first tip that you can help us out with. So before you go to a job interview, you should do a little bit of research, right?
Right, and that's our first point. It's really important to know as much as you can about the company, their history, their product, their management style, just as much information as you can find out about how they work and what they do.
And why do you think this is important?
Well, basically, you'll be asked about it in the interview.
Right.
And so if you show that you haven't prepared, you haven't done any research, you show that you don't care.
One of the best ways that you can impress in a job interview is to show that you know about the company, that important things like you know what kind of products they offer or what's their largest market.
Yep.
And I guess that really impresses the interviewer because
Yeah.
it shows that you are interested in this company and they really want the job.
And that you are willing to do the extra work it takes to prepare yourself. Because I think that will show the interviewer that later on, when you're working for them, you'll do that extra work on the job.
Exactly. That's a really good point. So that's our first point, our first tip, to do some research.
Yes.
Now, you've done your research, you know everything about the company. What else should you do?
Once you've read up on the company, you've got to spend some time thinking about yourself. You've got to prepare to sell yourself to the company.
Okay. So to sell yourself, to really demonstrate them why you are the perfect person for the job.
Right, because a lot of people think about why they want to work for the company, right? Because they feel like they're aligned with the core values or the message of the company resonates with them. But what the interviewer really wants to hear is how you, the interviewee, is going to benefit the company. What are you going to bring to the company?
Right, and this is the most important part, is to know what are your skills, right?
Yes.
And it's not enough to just say, well, I am a great leader.
Yep.
Right? So if you are a great leader, you should be ready to give an example of how you have demonstrated to be a great leader, right?
Yes. All right, so maybe like an example, like I'm a really strong leader because in my previous job, I had the best JD Power ratings for employee satisfaction.
Okay. So you're actually showing with numbers or with
Yes.
facts that you are a great leader.
Yeah, so the key thing here, I think, is identify what your strengths and skills are. Think of specific examples. If you can, give numbers and show how you can bring this skill and your experiences to the new company.
And now, well, you're ready to sell yourself. You've done your research. Now you have all of these things in your mind. You have to practice.
Yes.
Right?
A much overlooked stage in the preparation.
Yeah, a lot of people think it through. They write things down, but don't really practice.
Yeah. So I know you have a few tips about how you can practice interviewing effectively.
Okay, well, the first thing that you should do is use your friends.
Yeah.
Right?
They gotta be good for something.
Exactly. And, well, probably your friends are also working at a company.
Yeah.
Maybe they're managers, or maybe they've interviewed someone before already. So you can set up a mini interview and have them pretend that they are the interviewer and ask you these questions, and you're trying to answer seriously. And I'm sure that your friends can give you some great feedback, maybe
Yeah.
what you did right, maybe what you did wrong. So that's a really good way. And another thing is also you can record yourself.
Yes.
right?
Yeah. If you have a video camera or even a web, I mean, many people have a webcam like right in your laptop. Record yourself actually doing the practice interview with your friend.
And this is really useful because you can later see what you recorded and detect some of the things that maybe aren't really useful or good. You know, for example, posture is a really important aspect.
So what do you mean posture?
So the way that you are sitting down in your seat,
Yep.
how you are expressing yourself with your hands.
Yep.
Some people, they move a lot during the interview because, of course, you're nervous. So maybe they're moving from side to side or playing with their feet or playing with something on the table or moving their hands in an awkward way. So those are the things that you have to watch out for.
Yes. So I guess it's really important to sit up straight and to show that you are powerful and in control.
And another really great thing is eye contact, right?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
And why is eye contact so important?
If an interviewee maintains eye contact with me for like most of the interview, I feel like they have really good people skills.
In my opinion, I would say they have a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Right?
Yep.
Because if a person is looking down or not looking directly at you, it's either one of two things, in my opinion. It's either they are not confident enough with themselves or they are lying to you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Or also they don't have good people skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a problem in today's sort of knowledge-based economy.
Exactly. So it's really important to maintain eye contact. And one other really important thing related to eye contact posture is the handshake. When you get to the interview, it's really, really important to give a firm, good handshake.
So what qualifies as a firm, good handshake?
Well, you don't have to prove that you are ultra strong, right? So you don't have to squeeze the other person's hand really hard.
And like break their hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like a strength contest.
No.
A good firm handshake is squeezing normally, not too tight, not too loose.
Yeah.
But your entire palm, your entire hand has to be in contact with the other person's palm or hand.
Yes.
Don't give them the fingers, some people give you only 4 fingers or half their hand.
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate it too. And this goes for men and for women because a lot of women do this.
Yep. I call this the dead fish handshake.
The dead It is kind of like a dead fish or the dead hand handshake.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on this one. So, nice firm handshake.
Yeah. Firm handshake. And, well, these are our tips for preparing for the interview, everything you have to do before it. I'm sure there are a lot more things out there. And I'm sure our users have some insight on this as well.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it because like I told you, I love job interviews.
Yeah, so come to our website at englishpod.com. Leave us your comments. Maybe you've had a good experience with a job interview or maybe a bad one. Or maybe even as an interviewer, you've interviewed some really interesting people.
And you've got some great tips to share with us.
Exactly. So come to our website, leave your questions, leave your comments, share your experiences with our other users. And Eric and I will also be there to participate in the discussion.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye. Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going to be bringing you the second part of our job interview series.
That's right. So this is an advanced lesson, and we're going to be talking about educational background and experience.
Right. So in the first part, we saw preparing for a job interview. Now we are at the job interview, and we're just going to be talking about your educational background and your job experience.
That's right. And the language we're going to learn is going to focus mostly on these two areas.
Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at some of the difficult words before we listen to the dialogue in Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
All right, so we're going to talk about a few common words that have to do with education. Now, the first word, I think we might know this one, but there's a little trick to it. So the first one is major.
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 So, yeah, I guess everyone knows what a major is, right?
Yeah, it's the main subject that you study in university.
Right, so you can study business as a major or...
history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but you can also use it as a verb, right?
That's right. I majored in history.
Majored in. So usually it's followed by the preposition in.
Yes, always, in fact. When
Okay.
used as a verb, I majored in science.
I majored in business.
Yes.
Okay, so you can say my major is business administration or history, or you can say I majored in business.
Yep. And the same pattern applies to minor.
Okay, so minor, this is really interesting because this is more common in English-speaking countries, right?
That's right.
So what exactly is a minor?
Well, just like your major, but smaller.
Okay.
So if you major in history, maybe 60% of your classes are in history, and you minor in French, maybe 30 or 40% of your classes are in French.
So basically, you can have two subjects in your degree. You can have a major in business with a minor in art.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
All right. And another two simple words, a bachelor's degree.
Bachelor's degree, okay.
A bachelor's degree is what you get after going to university for 4 years.
Okay, so a bachelor's degree, after 4 years, you get that.
Yep.
After that, you get a master's degree.
Right. So that's another 2 years after your bachelor's degree.
Okay, and I guess a master's is more focused on an area, right?
Yes, more specialized.
More specialized. And then the highest degree you can get is a PhD,
Exactly.
which is a philosophy doctorate, right?
Uh-huh.
But you're not actually getting a degree in philosophy.
No, it could be in international relations.
Okay. But this is really hard to get. You
Yeah.
have to go to school for another 5 or 6 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of research, and not many people have it.
Yeah. Anyway, some simple words, but you know what? It's quite unique to the English-speaking world, this system. So we thought we'd bring it to you now.
Right, perfect. So now let's listen to this guy who is at an interview, and he's going to be talking about his education and work experience.
Thanks for coming in today. Did you have any trouble finding us? Please, take a seat.
Thank you.
So, let's get started. Tell me a bit about your educational background.
Sure. Well, I graduated with honors from Chesterton University with a major in business administration, with a specialization in information management, and I minored in psychology. I chose this course of study for two reasons. I wanted to gain some practical, marketable skills, which the information management track provided, and I also feel that the interpersonal skills are essential for professional success, hence the minor in psychology.
Interesting. And your postgraduate studies?
Well, I am really passionate about consumer behavior, so I pursued a master's in that area. I also strive to keep my professional skills current, so I continuously attend seminars and conferences related to management and customer service.
Very good. Now, tell me a little bit about your work experience. I see here that you previously worked at Oracle.
Yeah, I worked as their customer support manager, which brought me a breadth of experience in both client care and process management. I supervised and coordinated the customer support team as well as implemented new strategies to achieve better customer satisfaction.
Interesting.
Yes, in this position, I was able to make some pretty significant contributions to the overall success of the company. With the different initiatives that we implemented, we lowered our churn rate to about 5%, which had a direct impact on revenue.
Well, those are some pretty good answers to those questions, but I don't know, Marco.
There was a little awkward moment. I don't know if you guys heard it. Natural body... What's it called?
Functions. Yeah.
So,
oh, dear.
Well, making the interview a little bit more interesting, right? It doesn't have to be boring.
Exactly. But what is really interesting is some of the language he used to describe his educational background and work experience. So let's look at that now in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so in Language Takeaway today, we have 7 words that we want to focus on before we give you some tips about doing well on a job interview. So let's take a look at the first word. Course of study.
Course of study.
Course of study.
A course of study.
So what is a course of study exactly?
Basically, it's like a plan of study or a path of study.
Okay, so his course of study was...
Business administration.
Exactly, so that is his course of study. Now let's take a look at our second word. Track.
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 So he said he wanted to gain some practical, markable skills that the information management track provided.
Exactly.
So what does he mean by this track?
again, basically, if the track of study is like the path of study.
Okay.
So the direction of your study.
Okay, so I guess it would be like, think of a train and the train tracks, right?
Exactly.
Where the train travels. So that's where it's taking you. That's the path that he followed or you should follow or you want to follow.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now let's take a look at our third word, and it's a really nice conjunction. Hence.
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 Hence. Hence.
Hence. So it sounds fancy, but
Yes.
what
Really
does it
simple.
mean?
So, therefore. Yeah.
Right. So you can use it as a conjunction between two ideas. So he said, what would be an example of how you could use hence?
You could say the economy is doing poorly, hence people are losing their jobs.
Okay. Hence, so therefore, in consequence,
Right.
so.
Exactly.
But it just sounds a lot more like professional,
And formal.
formal.
Yeah.
Okay, so try and use this conjunction hence, right? Instead of saying so, therefore,
Yep.
use it. Okay, our fourth word,
Pursued.
pursued.
He pursued a master's.
Okay, so to pursue,
To chase after something.
to chase
Rawr.
after. So you can pursue a master's degree like he did,
Yes, you can pursue a promotion.
a dream.
Nice one.
Can you pursue a girl?
Yes, you can.
All right, so pursue to chase.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's look at our next word, strive.
Another great word you can use when talking about your experience. To strive is to try really hard.
To try really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know we have some examples for strive.
Yeah, let's take a listen.
Example 1.
At our company, we are always striving to improve our services.
Example 2.
He really strived to get a new job, and his work paid off.
Okay, great examples of strive, to fight, to try really hard.
Yep.
All right. Okay, now the next word, I didn't really know what it meant, so this is really interesting. Breadth.
Breadth.
So it's kind of like saying bread, but adding a TH at the end.
Yeah.
Breadth.
Breadth of experience.
Okay, so this basically means it's wide.
Exactly. So when you have a great breadth of experience, you have a wide variety of experience.
Okay, so maybe in different fields or in different jobs. So
Yep.
you can have experience like in marketing and in a little bit in finance and a little bit in management.
Yes, a breadth of experience.
All right. All right. And now for the last word, it's actually 3-in-1.
A 3-in-1 deal.
3-in-1 deal. That actually they are very related,
Okay.
right? So when he talked about his work experience, he was saying he supervised and coordinated the customer support team.
Okay, so he watched over, right? And made things work together well.
To coordinate.
Yes.
So these are really great verbs that you can use when you're talking about your job responsibilities.
Yes.
I supervised.
I coordinated.
And he used another really great one that said to implement,
To implement, to make something happen, to put it in place.
right? So he implemented new strategies.
Implemented new policies.
Okay. To set in action.
Exactly.
All right. So a lot of great vocabulary, a lot of great stuff, and well, you can use it for when you are at a job interview. So let's listen to this dialogue again. And when we come back, we're going to give you some tips so you'll do well in this part of the job interview.
Thanks for coming in today. Did you have any trouble finding us? Please, take a seat.
Thank you.
So, let's get started. Tell me a bit about your educational background.
Sure. Well, I graduated with honors from Chesterton University with a major in business administration, with a specialization in information management, and I minored in psychology. I chose this course of study for two reasons. I wanted to gain some practical, marketable skills, which the information management track provided, and I also feel that the interpersonal skills are essential for professional success, hence the minor in psychology.
Interesting. And your postgraduate studies?
Well, I am really passionate about consumer behavior, so I pursued a master's in that area. I also strive to keep my professional skills current, so I continuously attend seminars and conferences related to management and customer service.
Very good. Now, tell me a little bit about your work experience. I see here that you previously worked at Oracle.
Yeah, I worked as their customer support manager, which brought me a breadth of experience in both client care and process management. I supervised and coordinated the customer support team as well as implemented new strategies to achieve better customer satisfaction.
Interesting.
Yes, in this position, I was able to make some pretty significant contributions to the overall success of the company. With the different initiatives that we implemented, we lowered our churn rate to about 5%, which had a direct impact on revenue.
All right, well, I want to talk about two main things. And the first thing I want to talk about is how you address this question about your educational background. Like, what is the interviewer looking to find out?
Okay, perfect. So when you are talking about your educational background, you shouldn't only talk about your college degree, right?
Yep.
You should also talk about any type of training that you've had.
Yeah, I think it's really important to let the interviewer know that you're continually trying to update your skills and improve your knowledge. So any sort of courses or seminars that you might attend, this is a great chance to highlight those.
And that's what the interview is looking for, right?
Also, any trade publications, any magazines that you read related to your job is a great way to sort of highlight your desire to keep learning.
Well, I think that's really important because it's good that you went to a good university, you got this degree and everything, but continuously training yourself, and maybe just by listening to business podcasts or reading specific magazines or stuff like that is demonstrating that you care about what you do and that you are continuously learning, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so those are the main things to talk about in your educational background. Now, when this work experience question pops up, what should you really say?
When you're answering this question, I think there's something really important to keep in mind.
What's that?
You want to make sure that you're being as specific as possible, right?
Right, so giving examples of what you've done.
Like really specifically what you did, all of the sort of the main achievements you have.
Okay, so like for example, we saw in our dialogue that he talked about specific strategies that he implemented to improve customer support in that company.
Right, and he gave some numbers.
Right, he said, he lowered the churn rate to about 5%.
So it's so important whenever you can attach a number to your success or your achievement, to be able to do that in the interview really demonstrates your achievement.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And another thing when you're talking about previous jobs is make sure you keep it on a positive note. Right? Even if your experience was not very good or you didn't like the company or you had problems, you should avoid talking about that and always keep it on a positive note.
Right. So if the interviewer asks you why you want to join this company, why you're looking to leave your current job, you want to give these positive reasons.
Right. You don't want to say, well, because my boss was a jerk or I didn't like the company anymore. Yeah. You should answer it with something positive like, well, I think I need a change, or this job opportunity is more aligned with what I want to do in the future, etc. Yeah, so positive always on your interviews, and just, again, prepare for these questions that are always going to be there.
Yes.
So, Erica, I know that you've done a lot of interviews, and I understand that you've had a really weird question.
Yes. In an interview, I once got this question. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I really was asked that question.
What did you answer?
I think I said that I would want to be a willow tree because they're really beautiful.
Was that the right answer?
I don't know. Like, what are you supposed to answer to that question? I really don't know what the right answer was.
Well, some people, they'll ask you just, I don't know, random questions just to see what your response is. I think also maybe it's just how you deal with the pressure
or with the unexpected questions.
Right. So it's like that is pretty unexpected though. But I guess you handled it pretty well.
Okay. Well, I mean, I got the job, so.
Nice. Yeah. All right.
All right. I want to know from our listeners, if they were a tree, what kind of tree they would be.
Yeah. And also tell us about, your job experience or your educational background. Well, I know, for example, that I've had a lot of different types of jobs. I've even been that person that gets on the bus and charges people the money.
I know. You've had every job under the sun.
So, but it's great. So tell us, what's the weirdest job you've had? What's the craziest or the best job? Or any experiences?
Yes. So visit our website, englishpod.com. Leave your questions and comments there on the website.
And we'll definitely be there to answer them. And we hope to see you there.
Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. The history of the education you've had.
Educational background.
With special recognition for receiving very high marks.
With honors.
The main field of study in an undergraduate degree.
Major.
A limited area of study.
Specialization.
To have a secondary area of study in an undergraduate program.
Minor.
The combination of courses taken in a degree program.
Course of study.
Course of study.
Track.
Master's or PhD, education above the bachelor's degree level.
Postgraduate.
For that reason.
Hence.
Try to do something over a longer period of time.
Pursue.
Try hard to do something.
Strive.
A wide range or scope of something.
Breadth.
Important and large enough to have a noticeable effect.
Significant.
Adding or giving something.
Contribution.
University education.
Tertiary education.
Take the chance to do something before others do.
Take initiative.
Make something different in a special way.
Distinguish.
A good quality or feature that someone has.
Attribute.
Examine something in a careful and critical way.
Scrutinize.
Let's try that faster. Take the chance to do something before others do.
Take initiative.
A good quality or feature that someone has.
Attribute.
To have a secondary area of study in an undergraduate program.
Minor.
With special recognition for receiving very high marks.
With honors.
The history of the education you've had.
Educational background.
Try to do something over a longer period of time.
Pursue.
Course of study.
Track.
Master's or PhD, education above the bachelor's degree level.
Postgraduate.
For that reason.
Hence.
University education.
Tertiary education.
Adding or giving something.
Contribution.
The combination of courses taken in a degree program.
Course of study.
The main field of study in an undergraduate degree.
Major.
A limited area of study.
Specialization.
Try hard to do something.
Strive.
Important and large enough to have a noticeable effect.
Significant.
Make something different in a special way.
Distinguish.
Examine something in a careful and critical way.
Scrutinize.
A wide range or scope of something.
Breadth.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Course of study. I chose this course of study because it offers a wide range of work opportunities. Course of study. I want to change my course of study before the next semester starts. Course of study. My sister didn't choose her course of study. My parents decided for her. Pursue. They wanted to pursue their dream of traveling around the world, but it didn't happen. Pursue. My mother wants me to pursue a career in law. Pursue. You should really pursue that master's degree. It would really help your career. Strive. If you want to be successful, you must strive to achieve your goals. Strive. We strive to bring you outstanding customer service. Strive. Our company always strives to make our products better and better. Hence. The project was a complete failure. Hence, the project manager was fired. Hence. The project was postponed for 3 months, hence the delay in delivery. Hence. I never studied for my exams, hence my low marks.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And we're bringing you the final lesson of our job interview series.
That's right. And in this lesson, we're going to be focusing on 2 very, very common but sometimes difficult questions.
Okay, so we've talked about preparing for the job interview in part 1. Part 2, we talked about educational background and work experience. And in part 3, what are we going to be looking at?
We're going to be looking at 2 questions: why we should hire you and your greatest weakness.
Okay, so these are the classic, common questions that you'll get at a job interview, right?
That's right. So why don't we just get started and we'll take a listen to the dialogue and see how our interviewee handles these questions.
Very good. Now, I have a couple of final questions.
I hope they're not too hard.
Well, why should we hire you?
I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company. I have a unique combination of strong technical acumen with outstanding soft skills. You know, I excel at building strong, long-term consumer relationships. For example, when I headed the customer support department in my previous company, our team resolved about 70% of our customers' problems. I decided that we needed better information and technical preparation on our products. So after, I implemented a series of training sessions in coordination with our technical department. We were able to solve 90% of our customers' issues. Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Woo. Impressive. So, what would you consider to be your greatest weakness?
To be honest, I struggle with organization and time management. Punctuality has never been a strength of mine. I find it hard to organize my time effectively. I've actually addressed this weakness recently by attending a workshop on efficient time management. It helped me a lot by providing me with great insights on how to get organized and use my time efficiently. So I think I'm getting better now.
Great. Well, let me tell you that I am very pleased with this interview. We are shortlisting our candidates this week, and next week we will inform our shortlisted candidates of the day and time for a second interview with our CEO.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope to hear from you. Goodbye.
Well, our interviewee is doing very well, but I think he had a little bit too many beans or chili.
Oh my God. Like, this is probably the most embarrassing thing I can think of.
But he doesn't say anything, so I don't know. Maybe he should have said, "Oh, pardon me, excuse me," or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a controversy.
Yeah. Okay, but what isn't a controversy is the language, because there's some great stuff in here.
All right. So let's take a look at the language in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, we've got some great phrases and words for you to use when you're talking about what sort of benefits and skills and experience and expertise you can bring to a company.
Okay. The first thing that he said, and it's a very interesting word, he said technical acumen.
Technical acumen.
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 This is a really hard word. What is acumen?
It's basically insight and understanding and the ability to make good and difficult decisions.
Okay, so he has a very strong technical acumen.
So a strong insight or understanding of technical issues.
Okay, or I can change it and maybe say, I have a very strong business acumen.
Exactly. These are the two most common ways that this word is used. Technical acumen, business acumen.
Okay, great. Now let's take a look at another word, which is very interesting because everybody knows it.
Yes.
Excel.
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 Now, Excel is, of course, the software that you use, right?
Yeah. But here it's a verb meaning to be really, really good at something.
Right. To be the best, maybe.
Yeah.
To excel at something.
Yes. So I excel at cooking.
All right. So excel, you are the
Yeah.
best.
I mean, that's not really going to help me in a job interview, but the next word might.
Head.
Head.
Well, in the dialogue, we heard it as headed in the past, right?
Yeah, that's right. He headed the customer support department.
So I think this is I think this is a great word to use when you were saying I was the leader. Mm-hmm. I was the main person in charge.
Yeah, the manager. Mm-hmm. So this is a nice verb to use to show that you were leading something.
Okay. Okay, now for the next word. Struggle.
To struggle.
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 So what does struggle mean?
It means that you have difficulty doing something.
So it's hard for you.
Yeah.
For example, when I was in school, I struggled with math.
Okay, and now I struggle with Chinese.
Exactly. So to have a hard time.
Yeah. Why don't we hear a couple of examples of how this word is used?
Example 1.
We're really struggling to reach our sales target.
Example 2.
Yeah, to be honest, I do struggle with time management.
Example 3.
The teacher farted in class and I really had to struggle not to laugh.
Okay, so great examples. Let's move on to our next word. Punctuality.
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 Okay, so to be punctual.
It means to be on time, always.
Always. So punctuality would be the noun form.
Right, so the condition or the state of always being on time.
Right. So punctuality, to be punctual.
Yeah, and our interviewee struggles with punctuality.
Right, like me.
I guess you guys have something in common.
We do. Now, he has a problem with punctuality, but he said he has addressed this weakness.
Yes, to address.
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 Now, if you notice, it's spelled the same way as address,
That's right.
but you pronounce it differently.
So the verb address has the stress on the second syllable.
Okay, address.
Yes.
And that means to
Deal with.
deal with the problem,
Yeah,
to acknowledge the problem.
And to try and solve it.
And to try and solve it. Okay. So different from your home address where you live.
Yeah. And there the stress is on the first syllable.
Address.
Right.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, so let's listen to this dialogue one more time, and then we'll come back and talk about these two questions: greatest weakness and why should we hire you?
Very good. Now, I have a couple of final questions.
I hope they're not too hard.
Well, why should we hire you?
I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company. I have a unique combination of strong technical acumen with outstanding soft skills. You know, I excel at building strong, long-term consumer relationships. For example, when I headed the customer support department in my previous company, our team resolved about 70% of our customers' problems. I decided that we needed better information and technical preparation on our products. So after, I implemented a series of training sessions in coordination with our technical department. We were able to solve 90% of our customers' issues. Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Woo. Impressive. So, what would you consider to be your greatest weakness?
To be honest, I struggle with organization and time management. Punctuality has never been a strength of mine. I find it hard to organize my time effectively. I've actually addressed this weakness recently by attending a workshop on efficient time management. It helped me a lot by providing me with great insights on how to get organized and use my time efficiently. So I think I'm getting better now.
Great. Well, let me tell you that I am very pleased with this interview. We are shortlisting our candidates this week, and next week we will inform our shortlisted candidates of the day and time for a second interview with our CEO.
Great, thanks a lot. I hope to hear from you. Goodbye.
All right, Marco. Well, this classic question, why should we hire you? I think you'll hear it in many, many different interviews. And how did he deal with it here?
Well, the first thing that he said is very, very important because they're asking you why. So your immediate reaction would be to answer with because or I think that. But there's a different way of approaching it, which is a little bit more professional. He said, I think that I would be a perfect fit in this company.
I think I would be a perfect fit in this company.
That's how he started his answer, and then he explained why.
So this sounds really strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, basically, it just makes you seem to be very confident and puts you like you are already part of the company.
So this is a great way to start off this question, but you got to follow this up with some information. So what kind of information should you be giving?
Well, like we talked about in your work experience, the same thing goes here. What do you have to offer to this company? What special skills or insights or experience can you bring that would help us?
Yeah, that nobody else can bring.
Exactly. So again, you have to start talking about your strengths and your previous experience, but with examples, right?
Very, very specific examples. And whenever you can, throw in some numbers or some specific successes that you have had.
Exactly. And once you've talked about these things, you can close off this answer by saying, given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
Given the opportunity, I could bring this kind of success to this company.
So that is just like a magical sentence saying like, if you give me the chance, I will demonstrate how good I am and how I can help this company.
Yes, a really, really strong closing argument.
Yes. So that's the way you should more or less approach that question, right?
All right, but let's turn now to the classic question, your greatest weakness.
What is your greatest weakness? When you get this question, be sure to not say, My greatest weakness is I work too much,
My greatest weakness is I'm a workaholic.
right? Or, what was it? Oh, or I am a perfectionist.
Yeah, these we can see right through these. I mean,
Right.
they're too obvious and they're too silly. I mean, everyone has a weakness, so don't try and turn it around into a strength. I just don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. So, yeah, be sure to stay away from these answers. But you can say anything. Like in this case, he has a problem with being on time.
Yep.
So be honest, say what one of your greatest weaknesses are, but the key to making this weakness look good is saying what you are doing to solve this weakness.
Exactly. So really be truthful. Tell the interviewer what you're not good at, because there's obviously something that you're not good at.
Exactly. So you can say, I am usually late, but I am getting more organized. I am doing the seminar.
Yeah.
Let the interviewer know that you are trying to improve this weakness.
Exactly.
And be sure to also think about your strength, right?
Yeah, be prepared to answer the question, what is your greatest strength?
So, and again, when you're talking about your strengths, be sure it's something more specific than saying, oh, I'm very responsible.
Yeah. You want to be as specific as you can, and again, give those examples, give those successes, give those numbers.
Right, exactly. So think about your weaknesses, think about your strengths. If you don't know them, ask people, to ask your colleagues or ask your friends, what do you think is my greatest strength? Maybe you're a funny person. That's a strength.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, remember, there are 3 parts to this interviewing series, and you can find them on our website at englishpod.com.
Right. Come to our website, englishpod.com. You can look at all of these 3 lessons, and I hope they are really helpful. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, or maybe you'd like a little bit more of this interview series, let us know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Good luck in your interviews, and until next time, goodbye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. The right person for the job.
Perfect fit.
The ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
Acumen.
Be superior to, among the best.
Excel.
To be the leader of something.
Head.
To make something active or effective.
Implement.
A meeting where people acquire skills and knowledge about a subject.
Training session.
Have a difficult time.
Struggle.
Arriving or doing something at the expected or planned time.
Punctuality.
To deal with a matter, issue, problem, etc.
Address.
To select a few candidates in order to make a final selection or decision.
Shortlist.
Someone or something that is likely to succeed or to be chosen.
Prospect.
Curriculum vitae, a short document that describes your education, work experience, etc.
CV.
A weakness that someone has.
Shortcoming.
A valuable or beneficial thing or ability that a person has.
Asset.
A great success or achievement a person has. Triumph. Let's try that faster. The right person for the job.
Perfect fit.
Arriving or doing something at the expected or planned time.
Punctuality.
A meeting where people acquire skills and knowledge about a subject.
Training session.
A great success or achievement a person has. Triumph. Someone or something that is likely to succeed or to be chosen.
Prospect.
Have a difficult time.
Struggle.
The ability to think clearly and make good decisions.
Acumen.
A weakness that someone has.
Shortcoming.
To select a few candidates in order to make a final selection or decision.
Short list.
Be superior to, among the best.
Excel.
To deal with, a matter, issue, problem, etc.
Address.
To be the leader of something.
Head.
A valuable or beneficial thing or ability that a person has.
Asset.
To make something active or effective.
Implement.
Curriculum vitae. A short document that describes your education, work experience, etc.
CV.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Excel. When I was a kid, I excelled in math. Excel. Our company currently excels at customer service. Excel. I excel at writing code. Head. I'm heading a new division in our company. Head. She headed up the marketing efforts for our new product. Head. I would like to head this new project. Struggle. When I was in school, I really struggled with physics. Struggle. After many years of struggling, I finally became rich. Struggle. To be honest, I do struggle with time management. Address. We didn't know that problem existed, but we will address it this week. Address. We need to address this issue before it gets too big. Address. Addressing these problems is a top priority for this company. Acumen. Bob brings business acumen, knowledge, and experience. He's an asset to this company. Acumen. We must hire a programmer with strong technical acumen. Acumen. I'm sorry, we cannot hire you at this time since the position requires someone with stronger business acumen.